There we go. Hello, YouTube. It's Chance Paladin again, playing Shadowrun Returns Des Moines campaign. That's my campaign that I'm working on. Don't forget, I think there's still about 9 days left for the Shadowrun Returns Hong Kong Kickstarter. I'm doing this to promote that, so there's something to do for everybody and check out for everybody in the meantime while we wait for more Hong Kong information. So I release these on the weekend, so somebody has something for the weekend to tide them over. So it'll probably be my last one, just because the Kickstarter's almost over. So I'll still be working on this, but yeah, just not showing as much progress. And plus, progress is going to be harder and harder to show as I move forward. Plus, it's getting harder and harder to remember what I've actually added. So, there's patrolling water elementals now in the Puget Sound. This took quite a bit of work to do. Not going to go into all the details now. I'll go into all the details in a future video or something. We'll grab clams. I've made probably 100 small changes and a couple of big changes, so we'll go over. The water elemental seems like a small thing. It was, I'd say, a medium-sized change. Another, I would say a small sized change is I started using invisible props as as interaction points. It works a lot better because you can control where it is, and I'll go into that some other time. This one right here is an invisible prop also, even though I couldn't get it lined up with that properly, so anyway. If I go into every little thing, it would seriously take, this video would be like 5 hours long. So you'll see this, this door is closed now. It requires a password to get in. I don't have a strength check or a slicing check in there yet. And I'm not sure if I'm going to, but I wanted to have them there because I think it's funny. If you try to smash your way in, it causes you damage. If you try to hack it, it just kicks you out. So, you can enter a password here. I'm not going to show you what it is. And you enter and it says password accepted, opening door, welcome. And you can see it opens up now. That was difficult. To do it again is easy. To do it the first time was difficult. I've actually used that a couple times now in various parts. So, show you that some other time. And here's Jake again. I've done a lot of work with the Medibot. He's got a better profile picture now. I was going to start adding chat functions I still don't fully understand chat, so I don't know how to loop it, but I was working in like little hints of how the story's going to progress, to where talking to different people is going to give you different hints to the story. So I'll grab Jake. And I'm not sure if this was... See, I can't even remember what I've done anymore from last week. But I added most of the cyber stuff to this guy. The issue with cyber is it's extremely limited, and I don't know how to create more cyber. HBS is going to be creating tons of new cyber, and hopefully with that, I'll obviously be able to add it, but hopefully at that point we'll be able to make our own cyber, or if you can, it'll at least be easier. So let's see, let's go back up. Oh, it was supposed to spit me out back there. I'm not sure if I glitched something out, but it was spitting me out back there earlier. I'll have to remember to check that. Had that working. Oh yeah, and sorry for no music playing. I've been listening to music and talking for like 3-4 straight hours, so a little bit of quiet I think is nice sometimes. If you want any idea how the scope of the project's going so far, I went from like no global variables and no triggers when I started this to something like 25 global variables that are floating around right now, and over 100 triggers. I don't know. I've lost count. So when little glitches like him not teleporting in the right place, that means I gotta dig. And I've got my naming conventions are great, so I just gotta dig through and find why it decided to not grab us and teleport us. I suspect it's because I forgot to hit an all button somewhere. I noticed I've been forgetting to hit to an all qualifier, so it'll grab the whole team. And so here's Gung Ho. I still need to change his conversation to the new conversation format I'm using, but you can check out his weapons now. This is in case I was grabbing the wrong weapons or wanted to look through the weapons, because there still isn't a very good guide of all these. I still haven't figured out how to create my own weapons, and I was using this also to see not the damage but the skill checks. But you notice that there's only skill checks on things if you can't use them, and not completely sure why there aren't skill checks on all these. I'm wondering if it's because it's once you can use one gun you can use them all, but I swear they were all the same. Or I'm sorry, they were not the same. But anyway, adding and removing all of this stuff is extremely difficult and unfriendly. That's why this isn't set up better. I added a couple things I couldn't find, and then the rest of it's just a set list. It would seriously take hours to do each one of these, and then obviously you can make lists. But once you've made a set list, to change one thing, you have to do the whole entire thing over again and add them in order. It makes my stomach freaking hurt just thinking about it. It's extremely frustrating and unfriendly. So that's something on the list. This is Domino. I can't remember if I had added her last time. She's not in the talking mood right now. She's going to be another optional runner, but she's going to be quite expensive because she's not one of NetPally's close friends. She's just someone that lives there. She doesn't want to talk right now. I'll have her code it in later, but I have to code in some Shadowrunner controls, and I haven't done that yet, and I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to do that. Ricky's got a bunch of different options right now that I've added in. If you don't want to add him to your group, but still want to go down to his home, he has a home now. You can do that just by asking him if you can hang out, and he gives you permission. Or if you have him join your group, that gives you permission to go into his house. And of course it's not going to work right now because I was working earlier, but yeah, I knew that was going to happen. I literally tested all this 5 minutes ago, and it worked. So this is what always happens as soon as I start recording. So I'll come back to that in a few minutes. Shoot, what was I going to say? I can't remember. So, in my story, CTAC is ran by Halloweeners, and these are all Halloweeners, and when you try to run by them, they're going to issue you warnings and stuff saying that they can't guarantee your protection past that area. I haven't made any changes, I think, to the Halloweener area since the last video. And it doesn't have any of the new trigger functionality I'm working, so it spawns all the guys at the same time, and I'm almost done working on that with the ghoul area, but the Halloweener area I haven't even started yet. I need to do that. Guess I was gonna have that the Halloweeners are running the flower stand. I have no idea why I decided to do that, but it seemed like a good idea. So the Halloweeners they sell flowers. I guess they're trying to be everybody's friend, and they haven't figured out that people need food. But maybe since everyone else is supplying food, they decided to supply flowers. I don't know. Oh, and it's not spitting me out over there when I spawn back in either, and wow, some of my triggers really broke. Something really freaking broke some triggers. I wonder if there was an autosave somewhere that happened. Whenever there's an autosave, I notice it loves to freaking eat my variables, my global variables up, and I don't know why. And I have to go reset them, but if I reset the variables, it's going to screw up my progression, and so I'm not sure what that's going to do. That sucks. It's one of those back-end things that takes 4, 6, 8, 12 hours of work, but then on the front end looks like you've done absolutely nothing. So it's really frustrating. Yeah, it obviously at some point decided to stop checking my region triggers or my global variables to tell people where to go, which is why it didn't spit me out there, and that's why I can't go downstairs there. Wow, this stinks. Okay, well, I'll show you everything else. Yeah, I worked all week on this so it would actually look like a good build instead of looking like I've done absolutely nothing. But if I wait any longer on this, I'll literally be working on it all night, and then I won't have it uploaded, and nobody will ever see it, and that won't do any good, and I'll have missed the whole weekend to upload this. So you can go back into the catacombs now, but again, no idea what's going to happen since my triggers have been forgetting to work. This is a fictional area underneath Des Moines that's not currently there, but it could be. If you stoned enough of it off, you could probably keep water out of everything. And of course, since the variables are screwing up, it's not going to let me show you guys Ricky's house because it doesn't seem to be recording any variables I'm doing right now. So you will have to wait to see Ricky's house. But Ricky lives over there on the other side of the caution tape and everything. And you pop back up right next to where Ricky is. And again, 5 minutes ago, all this was working. Or 10 minutes ago now. But it's not working now. Yep, because it's supposed to spit me out over there. Again, this isn't... How do I say this? It's not the engine's fault, per se. It's because I'm trying to do something that the engine wasn't specifically designed for. It wasn't designed for open world sandbox. It just so happens that you can do it, but it wasn't designed for it. So I'm obviously going to need another layer of error checking and figure out why my triggers or variables broke, whichever one it was. And that sucks because half the work that I did was just getting the catacombs to work properly. I spent like 2 days on that. I'm probably going to cover that up. This is where the ghoul den comes out. Where you come out of the ghoul den. So those ghouls still warn you. Okay, so those are good guy ghouls. Okay, those ghouls still spawn. Huh. It's weird. Is there any grenades? No. I changed Armitage's spells a while back. I'm not sure when I did that, but he's not supposed to be super crazy powerful shaman guy, as a lot of people point out. He is supposed to be relative OP relatively, but he had some really weird spells that I didn't like. And in fact, this spell's not supposed to be Acid Bolt, but I can't figure out how to make spells right now. So it's a trigger that spawned these ghouls. That's why I could run around freely around the map, and I like doing that. It makes it just a lot more enjoyable. This fight's not supposed to be really hard. It's supposed to shoo you away if you come here by yourself. There we go. So this part is probably not going to work very well. I've spent a lot of time on this and I can't quite get it right. And I made a couple more changes and didn't test them, so we'll see what happens. Okay, well, they took damage from the fall. Okay. Yeah, I can't get the camera regions to work, and I'm not sure why. I haven't figured that out yet. So you'll notice that there isn't 10 million ghouls spawning. I can't remember if it was like that last week or not. I also trimmed down the amount of toxic evil chickens that you can summon. I call these things toxic chicken zombies. Oh, so their names are actually popping up this time. I've been having a lot of problems with these toxic chicken zombies. And also, you're not supposed to be able to summon them over and over and over again. I just can't figure out how to shut it off. There's a lot of things I don't know yet. But I'm working on it. I'm confused. There we go. There we go. Actually, I take that back. This is way more than there are supposed to be. I have a feeling that one of these toxic chicken zombies maybe spawned the rest of them, because there's spawning regions here. How many are there? 6. That might be 2 groups, I don't know. It's at least one extra group. I need to move that back so those things stop spawning more right away. They're not supposed to spawn them that soon. Oh well. So we'll do this for a little bit, and while we're doing this, I'll just say a little bit more. People keep asking how they can test the map and how they can give feedback. I don't want feedback. I want people to stop, please, asking if they can give feedback or asking if they can test the map. This map's not meant for everybody, and I'm reluctant to let anybody play it if I don't know how they're going to be critical of it, because I really don't want to hear it. I know things aren't working with it. So, like my little toxic chicken zombies don't have attack moves, right? So I don't need to hear that over and over and over again. I don't need to hear about they don't like the conversations, they don't like the difficulty, they don't like the Shadowrunners, they don't like this, they don't like that. I don't care. That's specifically why I haven't done letting anybody play the map, because I just don't want to hear it. It's not going to be playable for anybody until it's done. I am letting people play it if, I guess, for learning purposes, if they're getting into UCGs and they're just trying to play as many as they want, or as many as they can for kind of inspiration or whatever, for learning purposes. But people are like, oh, well, I'll lend you my services as a play tester. It's like, dude, no. I didn't ask. I don't like it when people volunteer to test. Like, if I wanted somebody to test the game, I would ask. And that's the last thing I want right now. I have this game absolutely clear in my head of exactly how I want it to be. And no feedback that anybody is going to give me is going to be anything that I would listen to. Unless you know how to code stuff on the back end of this game, which is so unlikely that I don't even consider it. But wouldn't it be easier if you did this? Wouldn't it be easier if you did that? I don't want to hear it. They should do this. They should say that. It should be this way. This is my game. If you want to have a UGC, just make one. That's what I can recommend. Can I actually not summon from that anymore? Or I wonder if I just can't get to it. Oh, well, that didn't spawn more guys. That's good. Good, I gave these guys some heals. I gave these guys a couple more heals since this fight is so difficult. And since the spawn is so random. But I hate to be negative. I'll give it to people to play with. But it's with the understanding that I want absolutely no feedback. If something doesn't work, I can 100% guarantee you I already know about it, since it seems like it just doesn't want to work when it doesn't want to work because of, I think, the variable issues. See how as soon as I spawn him, he instantly has a spell book, and I'm wondering if it's because I need to give him, maybe I need to give him spell books. I don't know. But unless you actually know the answer to that, Like, I don't want to hear it. I keep... I'll tell you what happens. I'll tell you why it's so frustrating. When I do ask for help, like, if you want to help me, go to the UGC board on Shadowrun Returns website, and that's where I ask for help. But if you're not there helping me and helping other people, I certainly don't want to hear it. And I'll tell you why. Most people who offer advice and help have no idea what they're talking about. They don't. And see, like, that one doesn't say toxic chicken zombie, and I don't know why. And they say, well, I can tell you if it feels good and feels right. Like, I don't. In all likelihood, it's not going to. And I actually don't want it to, because I want it to feel right for me. And if it feels right to other people, great. But I actually don't care if it does or not. I just want it to feel good to me, because this is my area for my Shadowrunner, and I'm telling my story. And if you've played a lot of UGC, you'd know that not everybody's UGC is going to feel right to everybody. Some people's feel off. And that's the way it goes. It's supposed to be that way, because these are very personal. And some people choose to tell very personal stories, and some people choose to tell other stories. Like introverted stories and extroverted stories, I guess you could say. And so I think people are misunderstanding UGC because they're consumers, and so they want to consume. But if you don't have the right mindset playing people's UGCs, you think that they want your opinion. Most UGC creators don't. Midway. Yeah, it's not spitting me out in the right. It's supposed to spit me out over there. The reason why it sounds harsh is because I've already had to deal with a lot of it, and it's the same questions over and over and over and over. Why can't I play it yet? I want to play it. Let me know. It's like, dude, that's nice. That's great that you want to play it. But once I give it to you, and I've heard this from a lot of the other developers. The problem is people say they want something, and then as soon as you give it to them, they immediately want more. And if I don't give it to anybody, I don't have to deal with that whole next step of bullcrap. This is the junkyard. I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. I can't remember if I built that last time or if I showed you guys last time. Well, I'll try one more thing to see if I can get in Ricky's house one other way, so I can show it to you guys. Because I made a couple of workarounds on how to get in there. Yeah, it's supposed to be shooting me down there, so I'm wondering if it's all the variables must be set to not resetting back to 0. That doesn't make any sense, because I have all these setting the variables back and forth. But yeah, so much of the advice I'm getting is check the wiki, go check the tutorials. When I ask like a direct, absolutely direct question, how do you do this? I hate being fucking told to go to a wiki or a tutorial, because in all likelihood I've gone there several times. There we go. So that's working. Why is that working? Okay, so that's what's supposed to happen. But it's supposed to happen when he joins my group, too. Oh, but I bet you it's going to spit me out on the other side because the trigger's not working. The variables. Yeah. It's going to spit me out over here because the variable's not getting red or something to teleport me back to the other side. Yeah. There's supposed to be a permission variable that lets me through here. It was working earlier. That's okay. Gives me something to do. Well, next week I'll be working on the Shadowrunner stuff and those toxic chicken monsters and the Halloweener place. So maybe there will be one more video. Oh yeah, I just remember the last thing I was going to show you guys. Okay. Yeah, I've done a lot of work on this, but I know it still looks weird. I can't remember how much of this I showed you guys last time. Or actually, I can't remember how much of this I even got done last time. But this has got real water now, instead of murky, gross water. But yeah, it's just people... I ask for help, and then they send me to a wiki or something. Chances are I've already been there a bunch of times. And they go, well, you know, I'm leading you to where the information is instead of giving it to you. And they think they're being like noble or, you know, helping future generations or something. All they're doing is fucking pissing people off. That's weird. I wonder what that line's doing there. That's really strange. I wonder if that's because it's overlapping. This is supposed to be a dam. I'm going to try to figure out how I can get that water less transparent. And then this is supposed to be some murkier water than cleaner water, but I can't get a good transition on that. Yeah, when you're a part of an actual community, an actual like culture group of people working on something. Oh, Ricky's like taking a little break or something. He's kind of mopey. You don't answer people for help by saying, oh, you can go find it here, you can go find it there. When you're a part of a group that's supposed to be helping each other, that's not helping. It's... They think it is. In people's, like, sick minds, they think that that's helping. But that's not how people help each other. It'd be like if you called 911 and you're like, there's somebody smashing into my house. They're like, oh, well, have you done a Google search for that, and it's like, well, aren't you gonna send the police or something? Like, they're smashing into my house. And they're like, oh yeah, you should look that up online. And then they hang up on you. And it's like, well, that doesn't make any sense. So, and obviously if someone's smashing into your house, the first thing to do is to not call 911. The first thing to do is get everybody in a safe room and hole up. And then get ready to defend yourself and call 911 as soon as it's safe to do so. But it's that mindset of like thinking that you're helping people by running them around. Like if you go to the grocery store and you say like, hey, where's the bread? And they go, oh, well, have you checked our website? There's bread on our website. It's like, no, I'm asking you where the fucking bread is. Yeah, the bread's... You can go to the website. Haven't you checked the website to see where the bread is? And it's like, that's where the bread is on your website, but I'm asking where in your store the bread is. And they're like, you just don't want to help yourself. I'm not going to help you. You need to learn to help yourself. And you're like, what? Doesn't make any sense. Gonna be doing more with this, but I don't know what yet. Still want to do a fire station, but I'm not sure yet. Yeah, it's not working because clams, like none of my variables are working. Okay. Well, I just wanted to go hang out at the Puget Sound while I finish talking to you guys. It sounds maybe, I don't know, I can't think of the right word. Like I'm unappreciative or ungrateful that people offer their help, but they're not actually offering help. It's, in my opinion, even if they don't agree, it's just another way of trolling. If you say things to somebody that add no value, whether you believe they add value or not, you're just trolling and just wasting people's time. And wasting people's time with pointless stuff is trolling, so please don't offer to help me in my UGC. The best thing you can do is to start making your own UGC, and this is what I told everybody on the Kickstarter. Make your own, and then we'll work on our UGCs together. That's the best thing to do, in my opinion, because I don't need help. I get stuck and struggle on things, but it's not anything anybody can help me with, because all the people that know how to do this stuff don't freaking talk to anybody, except for a couple of people on the UGC forums. So what I need is I need more people to work on UGCs. And that's so we can spread this knowledge out. So, because these are a blast. I mean, look at all the stuff I've been able to accomplish. I've been working on this for about 2 years, I think. But as soon as you have that aha moment, you can make something really amazing. And I think it's only through making your own UGC that you can appreciate the insane amount of work that HBS does. because this isn't even getting into making models, weapons, the Matrix stuff, which my Matrix stuff doesn't work very well right now, and I'm waiting for the Matrix updates and the cyberware updates so I can upgrade Domino and make Domino what she's supposed to be. But if you want to help, like, be a part of the community, and then through the community start being a part of the culture, and don't just spout out bullcrap that you don't know. If it's not something that you would do yourself to fix the problem, if it's not a direct set of steps to fix a problem, then it should not be the first thing that you say. If you want to say, by the way, there's a wiki here if you didn't know about it, after you answer the question, that's fine. Because actually I'm finding there's a lot of people that didn't know about the wiki and don't know about Nexus mods, and there's a lot of people that didn't even know about the friggin' UGC and editor forums. So, if you want to find other people talking about UGC, go to the UGC forum. If you want to find people talking about the editor, you go to the editor forum. But if it's not step by step, or at least fairly close, of how to fix something, or how to do something, just keep it to yourself. Don't just spout stuff off, because it's, even if you think you're helping, you're actually hurting. You're hurting things. And what I encourage people to do is to open up the Shadowrun Returns editor and start making something. And if you don't know what to make, or if you have some kind of writer's block or something, as long as you've made some kind of Shadowrunner before, try to make a little house for them. That's how I started. I made NetPally a house. And then I made the street. And then I started putting the stuff that he would need nearby to have a little community of his own. And I just built it out from there. You don't have to build a scenario for somebody to run through. Although a lot of people do that, and I think that's great. You don't have to write a whole story. But if you do, it's great. Start small. Start with one little scene and one little idea. You just make a little home for your guy or gal. Doesn't have to be a real place. It doesn't even have to be functional. Just try to make some flooring and some walls and a little bed. And I'm gonna make videos on all this stuff. And start from there. That's what I did, and I've made this pretty decent sized UGC now, and it's only going to get bigger because of how I scaled it all. So, and this is only going to be like 10% of the game, because the Matrix is going to be huge. I only made this so my guy has a little place to live in and go around if he wants and do stuff and hang out with his friends. In fact, you'll see that there's really only 2 major places in this that have any real battles, which is the Halloweener Ganger part and the Ghoul part. Everywhere else is relatively a friendly, safe, sanctuary type area. And sooner or later there will be, drama and stuff to work out and problems to address. Like people having habit-forming drugs inside the town and stuff. And I've got a lot of stories that can go on. A lot of stories that can go on. But you just start with an idea. And start with where the home base is going to be. Start with the hub. It doesn't have to be crazy. You don't have to do it all in one day. So I had this area right here, the Puget Sound. I actually had to build it twice because the first one got deleted on accident. Damn near had to build 2/20th block again because it got deleted too. That scared the heck out of me. I was able to recover some of it somehow. This was a long time ago. But just start small. Don't worry about helping other people right away. Get your own knowledge base up, and let the rest of us that have got our knowledge base up help you guys. And if you don't know the answer, don't worry about it. You don't have to know the answer to everything. And you don't have to volunteer to help everybody else with their UGCs just so you can get more free games to play and crap, and tell people your opinion that don't want it. When people need somebody to test their UGC, they'll let everybody know. Believe me, I know, because I've tested UGCs myself. And then if you run into game-breaking defects, like all my triggers screwing up, in this case I already knew about it, even though it's weird because it's working fine. But after somebody's published it, then you can let them know. But if it's too hard, or if this doesn't make sense or that doesn't make sense, if it's not really affecting the game, it's likely that you just don't get it. And that might not be a problem with the UGC. Or it might, but they might not have a lot of time. You don't know what they're going through. So it's better to be a part of the community and bring the community together instead of being critical. If you're going to be critical, you need to be constructive. Otherwise, just keep it to yourself and start working on your own UGC. And if you don't have time right now, the least you can do is go support Shadowrun Returns Hong Kong Kickstarter. It's got a little bit more than a week left, and they're trying to get to 1 mil so they can build more of this too, because theirs are like 100 times more complex and awesome than mine. It would take me 100 years to make what they're able to do. And yeah, I know they know how to do it, and they've trained a lot and practiced a lot, but even then, oh my gosh, the work that they do is amazing. And so we need to support them, because even though they make the official campaign, they also make the engine that makes all this happen. So please, I'll put the link down below again in the description. And even if you can't donate any money, at least go tell your friends and anyone that's interested. And I think they need about 150k to 1 mil. And the last week is usually when the first week and the last week are usually when the most pour in. So try to tell everybody. And thanks for watching. And I know there was like a little bit more negativity than usual, but it's just because I'm trying to make this, and dealing every negative comment I get just pushes me back further. And so I need to tell everybody to knock it off. And even if they don't knock it off, at least everyone's been warned when I basically completely snub you because you're not helping. And I think they know that they're not helping. I don't know why people do it. It's just a sick way of thinking. It's like driving by somebody with a flat tire, and when they say, hey, can you help me change my flat tire? You go, why don't you look it up? And then just leaving them there. Like, it's just insane. I don't know why people think it's okay to behave that way. So sometimes wikis are good, sometimes tutorials are good and stuff, but first of all, they have to actually have the information in them, and most of them don't. Most wikis and Most wikis are set up to waste people's time and frustrate them, and so they give up. So they can't bug anybody. And we're going to fix that. Shadowrun's going to have a great wiki. We're going to work our butts off on improving it, but it has a lot of the what, but not the why. And that's what we got to do. But we need more people to work on UGCs that stick around, not work on UGCs and disappear. So that's not doing anybody any good when people learn it and then just make one and disappear. So that's upsetting a lot of people. So anyway, I encourage you all to work on your own UGCs. Ask me for help if you need it. I'm going to start making UGC videos soon on the editor side. I just didn't know how to start, but I think I know how to start now. And I might just make videos of me working on this. But the problem with that is I do a lot of testing, and I don't want to do all the 100 hours of editing that'll be involved with showing me going back and forth, because I don't have... Maybe if I do windowed mode, that might be what I do. So anyway, if you're interested in those, or if you want me to start doing a list of stuff or tutorials, let me know. I'll start compiling a list, because 95% of the crap that I've done in here, I completely made up. Or pieced together other stuff. And just figured it out myself, because nobody was freaking helping me. About 5% is other people helping me. The other 95% is me just making stuff up from my coding background and all the game making background that I've done. So anyway, if you're still listening, thanks. I try to ramble at the end. That way nobody has to stay if they don't want to. But if you still stay, thanks. And support Hairbrain, because without them, we would not have this. And that's amazing. Hairbrain is doing amazing things. So please, please, please support them. And thanks for watching. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.